Aloha.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We live, we live. Yeah, we definitely live.
Aloha. Yes, it is Friday night, and here we are.
Come on now.
So, Harry, so did you see my post when I was talking about I'm considering these Friday night enlightenments?
Wait, Friday night enlightenment.
Right. You remember like when we was in high school and Friday nights was the big deal. Like it was starting the weekend,
Oh
the football
yeah,
under the lights
yeah.
and all of that. And so I just said for the next 3 weeks, I'm gonna be all excited in anticipation of starting my weekend with these Friday night enlightenments.
Okay, Friday night enlightenments. Come on now.
Enlightenments. Yes.
Enlightenment.
Yes.
I think I had a
Yes.
sound for that one too. I think Friday night enlightenments, y'all. Friday night. Oh, that's still playing right there. Hold on, let me turn it off now. Got to turn off the music. All right, we about to get into it now. We about to get into it, but I got to get these sounds right. Not when you dropping these jewels like this.
See. Well, look, as we're going to be talking about today, we're just going with the flow.
We're going with the flow.
Going with the flow.
Going
Exactly.
with the flow. Going with the flow. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. So
All right.
thank you. Thank you for being on the show. And look, I'm stepping back. You the host. I'm your guest.
Look, what do they call these? They call them like kind of like a takeover kind of thing.
You got it. You got it. I'm not even gonna wrestle with you. You got it.
All right. So, look, everybody. So, Harry and I wanted to come together for these next 3 weeks to have a mini series of being able to just share enlightenments with you guys on some Friday nights. And so, we were like, what are we going to talk about for the next 3 weeks? Because we're both like fluid kind of people. We literally talking about just going with the flow. And so for me, I get messages through Oracle cards. And so I was like, okay, so let me just tap in and ask. And so the very first one that we got for today was talking about go with the flow. So, Harry, so this is what it says about go with the flow. And now I'm going to ask you a couple questions to see how you align with some of these things. So, going with the flow, it says stay fluid. If one way of doing things isn't working, find another way. Remain open to seeing things from different vantage points and perspectives. If plans changes or obstacle arise, chart a new course to get to the other side. You are like water, unstoppable. Keep moving and you will get to where you want to go. Sometimes it just takes a bit of fluidity to get there. No matter how strong the current, remember to go with the flow and enjoy the ride.
Mm, mm.
So, what are your initial thoughts? Because I hear you hovering over there. What are your initial thoughts already with that?
Flow like water. Flow like water. And so synchronicity again. Y'all hear me say that a lot, but synchronicity begins to pick up whenever you're paying attention, or maybe it was always there. You're just more aware that it's there all the time, in all places, and in all moments. You just have to be aware. So synchronicity. I had a podcast earlier today. I'm on my other podcast, when Harry met Daphne, and
Mhm.
we were talking specifically about going with the flow. We were talking about that and how adapting, like what you read, adapting to changes, because right now I'm having internet issues, right?
Mhm.
Can I do anything about those? Excuse me. Can I do anything about those internet issues? I'm gonna drink this water. Hold on now. I don't know what's
Look, see,
going
we
on.
already about the water. We got the water. The water.
We going with the flow. We going with the flow.
Cheers.
Hmm. Yes, indeed. But we have internet issues now. I could get frustrated, but then I have to ask myself, how does that emotion help me? It doesn't.
Mhm.
And so what would help me during this time? Well, accepting that I have little control over the internet and doing what I can do anyway. You don't have to get an A+. We want perfection, but then we have to let
Mhm.
go of that illusion of perfection, because our perfectionism is no more than this illusion that we have to change something about ourselves in order to belong. And so if I let go of that and I just shoot for that C+, because I'm still gonna graduate with a C+. You can fight for A+. I'm still gonna graduate with a C+, and I'm gonna have more fun too.
Mm,
You know.
mhm,
So what is the
mhm.
goal? What is the goal here? What's the end game? What's the value here? And then being intentional about shedding away, adjusting. Last thing I'll say on that, all right. See, because there's so much I want to say right now. There's so much I want to say right now. Survival
Well,
of the fittest.
yeah, this is what we're here for.
Yes, yes. Survival of the fittest, right? Charles Darwin. It was about those species that could adapt, adaptation, and mental health. Even though I'm not giving any mental health advice here, in mental health, what are we doing? We're taking one thing you notice among all mental health disorders is this thing called mental rigidity. It's a transdiagnostic factor, something that can be observed across the spectrum of all mental health disorders. The people, think about the people that's most difficult to deal with. They are stuck in their ways, rigid, rigid. Just can't, just stiff neck with it. Just cannot adjust, cannot adapt. And so when they can adapt, you normally see fits and temper tantrums and whatever else to stay within that little space, that little comfort zone.
Right.
But the past is history, the future is mystery, and today is a gift, which is why it's called the present.
The
It's about
present.
being present with your gift today. And what are you going to do with it? You can't operate the same way you did in the past because, as Einstein said, tomorrow's problems can't be solved with today's thinking. How are we evolving? What are we doing to be intentionally purposeful about evolving and growing with this new present moment and its demands? All right.
Look at you. Look at you. Okay. So you are already touching on all these core questions that we're going to be talking about today. So this talk one right here. So what causes you to feel attached to an outcome? Like what causes that?
Well, because the mind can't tell the difference between us where we physically are and what we imagine or daydream about, to put simply, but where we place our awareness. At the end of this, I'm going to do a meditation that's designed to prove that point. But you can't tell the difference, which is, well, again, synchronicity, alignment, But you think about it, something really upsets you, something pisses you off. The more you think about that, the more pissed off you become.
Because you're staying in that energy vibe.
You stay in that energy. You are all the way there. Before you know it, you're not even in the room. Somebody has to tap you and wake you up. Because now you done teleported right back to that moment. So you don't have to physically move anywhere. Wherever attention goes, energy flows. Wherever you place your awareness at, that's where you are. Which is why when people want to move our attention somewhere else, they used to say they'll tap you and be like, hey, let me make you aware of something. Your awareness,
Well, it's something that we talk about often as when we talk, when people are, let's say like for athletes, and they sit down and they visualize the games, the plays, where they're going to be, because they are basically getting their mindset to already be there. Like this has already happened. Because when I remember, what was it? I know it's been some years now, but it was like Michael Phelps when he was doing the Olympics and he was playing his music as you were playing your music earlier, and he was just in this zone and he wasn't paying attention to this little other dude that was around him because he was visualizing his swim, his laps, what that looks like. I'm already, been there. So we do it all the time, but that's the way of doing it for your benefit versus the other way of when we're mad and we're ticked off about something attached to some outcome.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, brother, go ahead. No.
So when we stare at it, we're there. So when we want a thing, we see ourselves accomplishing a thing. This is the point I was making. We see ourselves accomplishing a thing. We really feel it. We feel it, and it feels so good, us being that new business owner and our business flourishing, and us going back to all those people that told us we wasn't going to be nothing and wasn't going to do nothing with that. And here go yo, what is this, like your 19th time trying something new? We even visualize going back to all those people and being like, nah, and then driving off in our Porsche. But so we feel all of that. And then when we can't have what it is that we want, a decision has to be made. When we realize that image that we place, that's not how it's going to happen. There's tension there. There's liminal space there, because that's the moment where, as I said before, we must transmute, transform, and transcend. It's in that moment of liminal space, of that tension.
All right, say that again for the folks that are watching. Transmute, Say it again. Transmute.
Transmute, transform, and transcend.
Okay. So break those down. What's that mean? I mean,
Well,
this is enlightenment. We are enlightening the people this evening. So what does that mean?
all right. To transmute is to basically you're changing a chemical into another chemical, right? Alchemy. You're using alchemy, that art of
Okay.
transformation. So really, transmute and transformation is pretty much what and what, But you're transcending, and by transcending, you're in that moment where you choose to lean into your discomfort and you choose to go through it. That's you beginning that process of that coal becoming a diamond. Arnold Schwarzenegger, they asked him one time in an interview, they said, how many push-ups can you do? He said, I don't know. I only start counting when it starts hurting. You see, that's when the gain is. That burn, that moment that you say, I am so tired. I'm tired of being tired. I can't deal with this no more. I'm ready to give up. Clearly, this ain't for me. That's that moment. That's that tension moment. That's that liminal space, because that's that space that you have the most doubt because you're hurting. You can feel it. Do you continue having faith in yourself and believing? Because you already made sacrifices in the first place to get to where you are now, but now it's been that time has moved on. And now you're looking at that bank account, and you're looking at how many people actually supporting you and how many thumbs up you're getting and all this other stuff.
Those likes, the hearts, and
exactly. And you're like, wait a second, I'm not getting the support I thought I was going to get. I'm not where I thought I was going to be. Is this right for me? It's not the amount of tension that you get that determines whether it's right for you. It's you that determines whether it's right for you. It's what you feel in your heart, the thing that pushed you down this path in the first place. It's not about the attention. It's about your mission. It doesn't matter how many people looking, because eventually your people will find you. I say that even as no more than one person right now is looking at this at this show. And I'm telling you, it's no different than 1 or 1 million. I'm going to bring it the same way, because I'm not focused on the attention. I'm focused on my mission. And that comes from here.
As you sound like me when I be teaching my aqua class, and there's this sometimes, especially during winter time, this one lady will just show up, and it's like, she's like, oh, I just, kind of feel bad. It's just one. I said, look, I'm going to teach this class if it's 1 or 20 of y'all. You're here, I'm here. So let's get it. So that's the thing. It's like whoever's showing up at that moment, to do the work, the school of Yoda, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Exactly.
Right. Right. So it's like, I'm for that. So with that, so what could result if people were more flexible? Like, what could we have if we were more flexible in our lives?
You see more possibilities. You realize that it's not about what you see. You made a choice to have an experience, and it doesn't have to look like the way you think it should look like in this physical space, because this space is always ever changing, ever evolving. Right now with everything that's going on, I've heard of recently, because of culture wars or whatever, there's an actual war that billionaires have lost like 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion overnight, and things of that nature. You see, and you can put your money in this, right? And this is, I'm a billionaire, I'm untouchable. But then things change, unexpected things happen, and can you shift? Have you built your life so deeply in this physical representation of what you think is your true experience, of what you think is truly who you are and what really represents you authentically, a true affirming space? If that's the case, if you built all of that into this, and you stared at this so long, sometimes that mind, it gets attached to these physical things and confuses its identity. We confuse us with it. And so then we become the clothes, we become the cars, we become the houses, we become the whatever, the parties. We become we become that person that gets invited to the parties. We that go-to person that knows how to connect people to other people. Like, when you begin to attach yourself to these roles, you lose who you truly are in that space. You know? And then that's when you got to understand, you got to issue in some self-forgiveness, because sometimes we have to lose ourselves in order to find ourselves. So we got to understand what Lao Tzu said. Again, it's only when I let go of who I am that I become who I might be. Too many of us are still holding on to them old I ams and won't let it go because we're too rigid. So cognitive flexibility, from a scientific standpoint, It allows you to adapt to change. It makes you the fittest, according to Darwinism. Survival of the
Mhm.
fittest is about what species can adapt to change.
Yeah. So, thinking about that, like practically, like in business terms, just putting this way, an example that comes up to me is, like Blockbuster and Netflix. So, Blockbusters was the king on the hill, was doing all these different things, right? And Netflix was just this little side business. They were doing the CDs in the mail, but they saw where it was going, into the whole digital and changing it. And Blockbuster didn't want to do that. They didn't want to be flexible. It was like, we're good right where we're at. And as you all know, where's Blockbusters? Debunked. And Netflix probably, I probably would say probably one out of three Americans probably have a subscription to Netflix, but they adapted. They got rid of the CDs. They went to digital. They're flowing now. Even with stuff now, they're making their own shows, controlling the production and all that. But they continue to be flexible, even though they're like this big, business. And it's the same thing as an individual. Like we should be flexible and be able to go with the flow of our life. But a lot of times, like you said, people are stuck in their FUD, which is their fears, uncertainty, and doubts. I know who I am today. I know who this is. I don't know my higher self of that person. So I don't want to release that. So I'm going to stay unchanged and stay comfortable here. But you got to remember, we are 80% water.
Mm.
Our
Mm-hmm.
bodies are 80% water. Hence, that's probably why it's connected to the whole aquamarine, which we're going to, talk about that. So, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yes. No, no, no. You go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to hold up. I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
hold
yeah.
up.
No, 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 no. Because I want us to get to this meditation that you're gonna drop for us to be able to help everyone out there. So then, like on this final question is how can we show up to meet unexpected changes? Like real talk, practical. Like how can we show up to these unexpected changes?
Okay. You said real talk practical. So you tell me what's
Mhm.
practical. I'm just going to speak.
Yes.
And thank you, Nicole, for the comments. This conversation is fire with three
Yes.
flames. I
Yes.
agree.
Welcome.
But how can we show up? Well, first acknowledging what's really there. Really taking a hard look at and doing a radical self-assessment and understanding where our fear is, because that's the only reason why we don't want to let go of the old who I am. Where's our fears? And so here comes also for a lot of us overextending ourselves,
Mm.
wanting to save everybody, wanting to help everybody, not wanting to let down anybody. But when that moment comes where you have to make a decision, because time may have called you for to be in this space for a certain amount of time, but then it's
Mhm.
time to let go. But hey, that's your friend or that's your whatever, or y'all been doing it for a minute or
My
whatever,
home
whatever, whatever.
girl, yeah.
Exactly. That's that tension right there. That's when we choose to continue to hold on to that old I am. Look, what's for
Mhm.
you is for you. You don't have to fight to hold on to it. And if y'all going in the same direction, y'all never lose each other. And even if and even the concept of loss is illusion, because we know based off of the theory of entanglement that once two collides, you are forever changed.
Yeah.
And so accept that person has served their role, but that's it. It's I'm comfortable now with these people in this space, and these
Mhm.
people have given me my needs such as praise, admiration, to know that I'm important because they call and
Yeah.
ask me for advice and stuff like that. And so how do I let them down? I mean, where do I have these needs met at again? Well, that's it. Again, that tension. That
Yeah.
tension.
But it's like being able to release people with love. Tay was saying that's my problem. Like, yes, it's an issue for challenge for lots of people because it's like you don't want to hurt people's feelings, right? But it's like releasing people in love and just that this individual is just not really aligning where I'm at right now. And if anything, it could be instead of you thinking selfishly, what some people think like, oh, like you feel like you're better than this and all that. Maybe it's to be able to free up space and capacity for you to be allowing that individual to go and explore and come up and let new people come into their life versus you leaving somebody behind.
Come on. So let me say this. The other is no more than a reflection of oneself. So if we're looking at it from that perspective, then it's not that we are in an alignment with the other, is that we are out of alignment with ourselves.
But that's, boy, you better say it. I was right there with you. Yes. Mm-hmm. But you know that, but you know that takes work, right? And I know
That's
you're
where
familiar
the
with this doing the shadow work stuff. Is that takes work? You know, there have been times they'd be like, yeah, you know, I wasn't right. Like, but a lot of people don't want to do that.
and again, Tupac said this: it's hard to be an angel when you're surrounded by demons. You know what I mean? And I'm not calling other people demons. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's not about good or evil or anything like that. But when you have so many people out of alignment that you're surrounding yourself around, and that you have no choice but to be around. You know, when you go to work
Mm,
and you got the messy Mayas all over the place, you know what I mean? Just loose
mm,
slip, the slips always sideways, you know what I mean? I don't know how to get the job done, but they sure enough could cause a ruckus at the job, you know? When you have all
mm,
of these people that you bump into that are not in alignment with your energies that you have no choice but to run into, you have to recalibrate your system. But a lot of us, and that's why I did a video on the gettings of life, we're so
mhm,
busy that we don't do that radical reassessment and realign ourselves and then issue in that self-forgiveness and give ourselves new direction. Look, when I tell my partners, my true people, my true
mhm,
inner circle, you know, and partners is not gender specific, by the way. But when I tell my partners, you know, I'm moving this way, even if they're going that way, it's
mm.
always love.
Yeah.
Because we know at any point in time we can meet back up. And even if we were doing something together, it'll overlap, more than likely overlap again, you know. But there's an acceptance there. There's an
Mm,
acceptance there, you know. And so accept that what you thought it was going to be ain't it. Nobody told you to build up an entire house on sand. You know, when you go to the beach, you build up that sand castle. You enjoy building up that sand castle. It sits there. You admire it. You might take a few
mhm.
pictures and you walk away. You're not going back the next day to admire that same sand castle. You're trying to build another one.
Right.
And see,
Mhm.
that's the issue. We get stuck staring at the same sand castle and we forget the purpose.
But you know what, that sandcastle, you have the expectation that it will be gone because you
Mm,
knew the materials that you built it with and where the environment was. Like you knew that. Versus
mm,
if I build something with bricks, yeah, I expect it to be there when I
mm.
come in on concrete on a solid ground kind of thing. But that's one of those things where a lot of people don't have those set expectations with that. And so, like you said, with the sandcastle, you know that the river's going to come in, it's going to go with the flow and the tides. It may wash this away, but I got a new slate to build something new and even better, right? Okay. So, connected with all of this is the crystal talk about the aquamarine. And so one of the things about the aquamarine is that it is actually the birthstone for March. So I was like, of course it is. You know, we're starting this off in March. But the key power to this crystal is peace, purification, psychic abilities, loyalty, perseverance, courage, communication, motivation, honesty, intuition, health, connection, relationships, all kinds of things. Love, compassion, feminine, prosperity, abundance, healing, and reconciliation. But the way that you can use it if you have a crystal with the aquamarine is for healing, protection, meditation, and distant healing. So, how appropriate that the fact that it's connected with meditation and distant healing, because most of you guys are watching us from a distance and Zoom. I wanted Harry to show us his skills and like have us to kind of wrap up this session with a meditation. So like we are doing this right here in the moment because many times people will tell you, "Oh, go meditate, do all these different things," and then you don't do it. But you're already here with us now. We're gonna have my brother here to help us to meditate and to be thinking about going with the flow. So Harry, lead us in this meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
Wait, now hold on now. Before we jump into meditation,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
I don't know that big setup was like this meditation gonna be a big thing. Look, it's a meditation now. It's a
It's a
meditation, and I'm
meditation.
moving.
It's
It's a meditation. It's a meditation. Yeah, you're right. You're right to hype it up like that. All right. So let me
I'm
say this
like,
about the
say, look,
Aquamarine.
do we need to have a conversation about imposter syndrome?
You're right. Hey, thank you for the rebuke. Thank you for the rebuke. I needed that. I needed that.
Yes,
But
I'm
I
gonna give
wanted
you.
to add to what you were saying, like again, the
Yeah.
synchronicity, because I just told you come up, yo, because I come up. I said I'm free flowing, so you just come up with the topics, whatever. We just go with it, and you came up with this for today, and then you said Aquamarine. So I said, okay, let me do my research real quick. Let me do some recall and remember what that's about. And it went straight to the throat chakra. I said, oh, there you go, there you go, there you go.
Communication.
There we go. I said the aquamarine, it's good to benefit to open up the throat chakra. And so the first of the spiritual chakras, the throat chakra, has much to do with our true authentic voice, where faith and understanding combine. And so I just want to say, when the throat chakra is out of harmony, we have difficulty speaking our truth or expressing ourselves, feeling silenced and judged for what we say. Feel out of alignment with who we are and feel out of touch with our will to live. And when the throat chakra is in harmony, our will to live is strong and we are able to follow our dreams. We speak our truth, where we say what we mean and mean what we say. We express ourselves easily, creatively, and authentically. Listen to our inner voice and have a balance between silence and speech. And the affirmation for that is I speak. So to speak and receive the truth. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Oh, this is powerful. This is powerful right here. I was digging. So when I was doing my research, I was like, Mercy, come on now. She knew exactly the
We we
stone
are
that I
we
needed
are
on this.
co-creating at its finest. I love it.
Look, and before I do this meditation, last thing I put out a thing on my stance on toxic people, right? On this conceptualization of what toxic people is, and so I already knew I already knew what I was going to get when I did that, because it's a controversial thing, and I already understand what people's perception is at. So it was weird that I was like facing that, because it still don't feel good, right? It still doesn't feel good, even though you know why, and you know that they're not seeing, accurately or understanding, with clarity.
Yeah.
It's still because of what's in our DNA, what's in our code, to belong or have the desire to belong. When you get that, the assaults or whatever, that anxiety is natural to peak up. But the
Yeah.
task of being authentic is not about doing it easy, because that's where we get hung up at when it begins to get hard. It's not about doing it easy, because easy come, easy go. It's about doing it anyway. When it's easy, you do it anyway. When it's hard, you do it anyway. When it seems like mission impossible, you stand the hell up, you continue walking, and you do it anyway. Realizing that even when you stumble, you still stumble forward. Realizing that there's no such thing as failure. It's only the painful side of success. There is no success without failure. Again, I just put out a post that said, planes fly against the wind, not with it. But that's it. That's it. That's all I had to say. But it was just everything, it was just in alignment with where I was at and where I was like meditating. And I'm like, just be at peace, Harry, just acceptance. It's like, no, Thor, bring down the thunderbolt. No, Harry. No, that's persona. That is self
Ego.
that's ego trying to protect itself. I said, no, 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 that's not love. And that's the question. Have we made a choice out of fear or love? That's what would love do in this case. And in these situations, many of us will respond much differently to many of our daily decisions if we just ask that question: what would love do right now?
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
sis.
like you said, it's both of them, because, like you said, you got the heart and the throat chakra for this one, so it's definitely meeting you right where you are. So for those that are joining us, go ahead and just get in a comfortable position and let Harry give us this meditation to start off our weekend. All right, my brother.
Look, and so I just want to give some preface to this meditation. It's going to be a cappella because my internet is not working, and so I couldn't download my sounds. But I want you to understand that your mind, you can go wherever attention goes, energy flows. And so I want you to understand that by fully participating in this meditation and just allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to just be. And so you just allow yourself to just close your eyes, give yourself permission to close your eyes and just breathe. Ooh, that felt good. That felt good. Just breathe. Again, just stay with the breath. Slowly breathing in peace and tranquility, and breathing out appreciation and gratitude. This meditation is called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Many of y'all may be familiar with it, but oftentimes I say you must experience the experience in order to experience it. You don't have to physically move anywhere. When you allow your mind to just be free and bring your awareness to whatever location you want to bring it in, even locations you may not have been to yet. When your awareness is there, wherever attention goes, energy flows. And so you are there and you can experience all of the emotions that you would experience if you were physically present in that space. And so as we begin this meditation, I want you to think about your favorite, most relaxing place. Your favorite, most relaxing place on the entire planet. Again, you don't have to have traveled there before. It could be a beach, maybe the forest, maybe the mountains, maybe valleys. Just allow yourself to go to your favorite, most relaxing place. Allow all your senses to be present in that place. And with all of your senses present in that place, I want you to say to yourself 5 things that you can see. Just allow yourself to see 5 things there at your favorite, most relaxing place. Maybe it's waves. Maybe it's beautiful flowers. Maybe it's hard rock. Maybe you see people. Just give yourself permission to notice 5 things there in your favorite, most relaxing place. And now that you've allowed yourself to notice 5 things there, be present and name to yourself 4 things you can physically touch in that space. Maybe you feel the sand grinding as it sifts through your fingers. Maybe you feel the warmth of water. Maybe you can touch that coconut that's been cut open and filled with a wonderful pina colada. Whatever it is, just allow yourself to just feel those 4 things that you can touch in your favorite, most relaxing place. And now, give yourself permission using the senses of your ear. Allow it to span out and name 3 things that you can hear. casting that amazing human superpower of the ability to hear sound. Just cast it out as far as you can and name to yourself 3 things that you can hear. Maybe you hear the flowers moving. Maybe you hear waves crushing against boats. Maybe you hear vehicles racing. Maybe you hear children running and laughing. Just allow yourself to be present as you experience those 3 things that you can hear. And now, give yourself permission, using the magnificent power of smell, and name 2 things that you can smell there in your favorite, most relaxing place. Maybe you can smell the salt of the water. Maybe you can smell the flowers that are not in proximity of you, but are traveling via the wind from the mountain afar. Maybe it's your favorite perfume or cologne. Maybe it's my pina colada. Whatever it is, give yourself permission to just experience that awesome sense of smell. Just experience it fully and name 2 things to yourself that you can smell. And then when you're ready, take a moment and name 1 thing that you can taste. Now, I'm afraid for me, can't taste much more besides this delicious pina colada that I've been talking about pretty much every rep. But maybe you can taste the salt in the air. Maybe you can taste even the sand as you play in it. Maybe you can already taste the food being prepared for you. Whatever it is, just allow yourself to experience it fully. Know that nothing and no one can bring you peace but yourself. Know that it doesn't cost a thing but time to be present, the choice to be present, in order for you to visit this favorite, most relaxing place at any moment. You can experience the experience before you experience it, just like you would before you go on a cruise or make trips to go across seas. You experience that, you feel it fully before you arrive. Using all of your senses, you allow yourself to be there. And before you're even there, you're filled with excitement. You have that option, that ability, being the superpower of your mind, to bring your awareness wherever you choose at any moment. And so hopefully you enjoyed this grounding meditation exercise called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you are ready, just take a deep breath and allow yourself to re-enter the room.
Thank you, Harry. And the
Mm.
synchronicity was on fire because I swear I think we were in the same place. Like you would say something, I had already thought it. It was like you would say it, the food, the water. I was like, dude, you in my head right now? Like this is
Yo.
like that's what's up. Like, yes.
Yeah, I had to remind myself I was doing a meditation because I started to like, ooh, it feel good being here. Oh, oh, snap! This is a meditation. But
Yes.
thank you, sister. Thank you. Oh my
Well,
goodness,
thank you.
this session's been fire. Oh, I love it. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. So, anything we want to tell the people? Could help me. Help me. I'm still there.
Yes. Telling them, y'all go with the flow. Have
Yes.
a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us live. We had two Nicoles at Tech. Yes, thank y'all for joining us live. And for those that are watching the replay, we appreciate you because, like I said, that meditation is something. Come back. You can always replay that again. So thank
Yes.
you, Harry, for this time tonight. And aloha, Latrice. Welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for
Yes.
joining us.
And
Join us
Timmy.
next week
And
for what I'm calling Friday Night Enlightenment.
yes. Oh, what's going
Yes,
down, y'all? What's
what's
going
going
down? I don't know what
down?
this is. It's happy hands. I'm just excited. Oh no. But anyway,
Yes,
thank y'all
spirit
so much,
fingers.
y'all. And what is next Friday? We
Yes.
announcing it. It's what what next Friday
Yeah,
is.
let me look that up, y'all, so we can have it right here.
Yeah, so
So
y'all know. Want y'all
next
to know what y'all
next
want.
Friday, so y'all will know, is session 2, and we're going to be talking about create your own luck.
Ooh, create your own luck.
Create your
Ooh,
own
wee.
luck. Yes, y'all
Ooh,
come back for
wee.
that.
Some people be scared of that one. Ooh, wee. All right, y'all. It's
Indeed.
been
All
grand,
right.
y'all. Yo, stay lit. Living your truth. I'm out.
Indeed.